Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Simply Podcast Network's YouTube channel. Today, I have a bonus clip for the last episode, which would be Season 2, Episode 5 of Simply Screen Reviews. I reviewed Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse in that episode, and I've got a little bit more to say. I mean, it was such a good movie that honestly, I could have continued talking about it for 2 more hours, and if you're anyone close to me that actually personally knows me, then you would know that I honestly have talked about it for hours on end since I've seen it. So anyway, I have a little bit more of a bonus clip. I'm going to be talking about some of my predictions for the next movie, Beyond the Spiderverse, as well as some Easter eggs that I caught from the first movie after watching the second movie. So that's what today's bonus clip is. As always, heavy spoilers ahead. If you have not yet seen Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, which if you haven't, go see it right now. What are you doing? But if you haven't seen it yet, do not listen to the rest of this. Spoilers ahead. Come back after you've seen the movie. Once again, spoiler warning. Okay. First off, I have some predictions for the next film. So hopefully, if you're listening to this bonus clip, you've already listened to the episode, because I mentioned a lot about how I am a big fan of the comic books of Spider-Man and Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen and all of the Spider characters. I have the Spider-Verse comics, the Spider-Girls comics, all the kind of team-ups, and then a lot of the individual Spider heroes as well. So I heard that the writers of the film actually teased that the next movie, which comes out in March and is the continuation of this one, called Beyond the Spiderverse, is supposed to have even more spider heroes that they saved for the next film. So one of my predictions is Cindy Moon, also known as Silk. I think she might make an appearance because, as we learn in Across the Spiderverse, Miles was bitten by a spider from another universe, and his Peter Parker, his Spider-Man, died because there could only be one Spider-Man. However, in Cindy Moon's universe, she is bitten by the same spider as Peter Parker, and there are two Spider-Mans. So there's Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and there is Cindy Moon, Silk Spider. So I think she would make a good appearance. I think maybe she would bring that loophole. Obviously, the difference here is that Miles was bitten from a spider from another universe, whereas Cindy Moon was bitten by the same spider from that universe, the same one that bit her, Peter Parker. So I think it would be interesting to see if they bring her on. I think she would make a great addition. I think maybe she would bring forth that loophole and kind of allow for Miles' story to play out similarly to hers in a way. And I know that there's differences, but hopefully we would see her. Another prediction, and maybe not even like a prediction, but something I would like to see and possibly we would see, is the Funko Pop Spider-Man. Obviously, we saw the Lego one this go around. I think it would be really interesting to see Funko Pop Spider-Man in like a Funko universe. Obviously, I would assume, and again, these are all just predictions, but that the tone of the next film is going to be a little bit darker, especially where we left off with Across the Spiderverse and that cliffhanger. So I don't know if it would fit in properly, but if there was the opportunity, I think it would be cool to see the Funko Pop Spider-Man. Then I was also thinking there's a Japanese Spider-Man that has his own comics, and I'm not too familiar with this one, to be honest, but I know that he's a very popular one, and I think it would be interesting for him to be incorporated. Also, I would love to see Carnage Spider-Man. There is a version of Spider-Man that's also like Carnage all in one. I think that would be interesting, and maybe there could be a connection to the Venomverse. I'm curious to see where Sony is planning to take the Venomverse next, so I think that would be very interesting. I also would like to see some version of Venom and maybe a symbiote Spider-Man. So I think that also would tie into the Venomverse and would be very interesting to see. Other than that, there are so many possibilities. There are endless amounts of spider people in the comics. Right now, I think an interesting one that's pretty new, so I don't see the likelihood of her being in Beyond the Spiderverse, but it is Petra, also known as Spinstress. She was kind of the focus of Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, which just came out. I think her character is very interesting, and the way she's meant to kind of mimic a Disney princess would be kind of cool to see on the screen, especially in this animated format, because they could make her universe animated like a Disney princess universe. However, I think, like I said, she's pretty new, so I don't see the likelihood of that. I do think we're going to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I know in this film we got flashbacks to both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and then we also got the MCU Prowler, which is played by Donald Glover, who actually, fun fact, inspired Miles Morales in the first place. But I think there's a good likelihood that they are saving Tom for the next movie, and I think there would be a possibility of perhaps, along with Donald Glover's Prowler, for Miles to transition into the MCU and into the live action format, whether that be Miles from the Spider-Verse movies, this main character that we've seen, and him just kind of becoming live action and moving to another universe, or it would be another universe's version of Miles. But nonetheless, I think it's safe to say we'll probably see Tom Holland, and I would say most likely we'll see him in a new scene and not necessarily a flashback scene like we did with Andrew and Tobey. I think that'll be very interesting, and I think that'll be the way that they will bring Miles in to the MCU, which I would almost guarantee is going to happen, and it definitely feels like something that they're setting up. So those are my predictions, and then I did just quickly want to go over just two minor little Easter eggs or little things that I noticed. I just rewatched the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, and now having watched Across the Spiderverse, which I am actually planning on going to see again this week, and probably about 2 more times at least this summer. But having watched the first one and the second one now, it's clear that they had planned out since the first film exactly where the trilogy was going to go, which I think is maybe in part something that made it so successful. But some things I noticed were, we see, and maybe this is obvious to some people, I didn't catch it right away until doing this rewatch, but the spider that bites Miles Into the Spider-Verse is glitching, just like all the other spider people that are in the wrong universe. So it makes complete sense now, having watched the second film, we see that, yeah, that spider was from a different universe, and that's why it was glitching. But I think that's such a cool detail, and I think until you really see the second film and get that confirmation, maybe you would have had that theory that it's from the wrong universe, but I think a lot of people didn't even realize that, including myself. The other really cool thing, and again, until you see Across the Spider-Verse, you wouldn't really get this, but Miles, when he gets his Spidey sense, there's these colors, there's like a background behind him, and the first few times he gets it after he's bitten, it's in the colors of the Prowler. And as we know, Miles was kind of destined to be the Prowler. It just, because of this whole multiverse situation and the wrong spider biting him and whatnot, he becomes Spider-Man. But so the first few times he gets that Spidey sense, it's the Prowler colors. And then once he meets Peter B. Parker and kind of settles into being Spider-Man, once he gets his Spidey sense again, they're now in the red and blue Spider-Man colors. So I thought that was just another really interesting little Easter egg, and it's very precise, blink and you miss it. But that is everything I wanted to talk about in this bonus clip. I will let you all know that there's going to be 2 more bonus clips this week. One of them will be very interactive with you all. It'll be about the same episode. Everything will be about Across the Spider-Verse, because I know we're all so excited about that movie. So there will be two more little bonus clips this week. One of them will be talking about the multiverse and kind of the MCU as well, and the other one will be very interactive, and you guys will definitely want to tune in. And of course, Friday and Saturday, there will be 2 new episodes reviewing a series and a movie. I won't give any hints as to which ones yet, but listen to the bonus clips and I'll eventually give you a hint. But anyway, yeah, new episodes of the podcast, both Friday and Saturday, anchor.fm/simplyscreenreviews. Make sure you tune in. And of course, there'll be probably more bonus content from those episodes on this channel as well. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. I would love to hear your comments down below. So comment if you feel inclined to do so. Other than that, stay tuned for more bonus clips and tune in to Simply Screen Reviews Friday and Saturday. Thanks for listening, and have a good day.